Good afternoon. I have to say those two young women were absolutely phenomenal. And our office loves a strong female duo, that's for sure. I know Mayor Terry's looking at me wondering what bad jokes are going to come out of her mouth during this introduction. But I have to say, it is my absolute honor to introduce someone who is not only a trailblazer, but also a compassionate and visionary leader, Mayor Stephanie Terry. As the first woman and first African American to serve as the mayor of Evansville, Mayor Terry represents a new chapter in our city's story, one defined by inclusion, innovation, and integrity. She leads with both grace and grit. She empowers her team to lean into their strengths and serve with purpose. As a boss, she creates space for people to shine. As a public servant, she never forgets who she's working for, the people of Evansville. I get asked a lot, how far do she and I go back? We didn't go to school together or grow up side by side in theater class. Did you all know that Mayor Terry actually played Dorothy in The Wiz in high school? I learned, like probably a lot of you, during the election. A lot of people assume, though, that we've known each other for years, but that wasn't the case. We didn't have a long history, just a shared belief in community, mutual respect, and a whole lot of trust from day one. And I think it's worked. We balance one another out, where one brings bold energy, the other brings calm focus. Where one sees 10 steps ahead, the other grounds us in the here and now. Mayor Terry puts an audience in awe for her rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. I, on the other hand, make bad dad jokes at department head meetings. They all can attest to that. Jokes aside, that kind of working relationship doesn't happen by accident. It happens when a leader, like Mayor Terry, is secure enough in herself to bring in people different from them and wise enough to let them lead. What grounds her in her leadership is something even deeper, her faith. She carries it confidently, and it shows. It shows in how she treats people, how she makes decisions, and how she lifts others up. Her belief in a purpose greater than herself is reflected in her belief in this city. She listens deeply, she acts boldly, and she believes fiercely in the promise of our city and the potential of our people. Now please join me, everyone, in welcoming the 35th mayor of the city of Evansville, Mayor Stephanie Terry.
Today we are here to announce a new initiative to help continue revitalizing neighborhoods. Our new Fight Light program. you. Good afternoon, everyone. We had this all worked out before. We're gonna keep rolling. Can you hear me in the back? Yeah? Okay. Well, here we go. Great. Good afternoon. We are 17 months in, and I must say, it is an extreme honor to serve as your mayor and to work alongside you to move this city forward. Before we really get into today's presentation, I want to start with a few thank yous. First, to the Rotary Club of Evansville for hosting this event each year, and for really creating a space for us to reflect on where we've been and where we're headed. And how about another round of applause for our two Dorothys? I can't wait to see them this summer at the Wizard of Oz musical. So I hope that you'll also make plans to join them. It's just really one example of the incredible talent and creativity we have right here in our city. Now let me take a moment to acknowledge the outstanding team that really helps us keep moving Evansville forward. Every single day, our city staff, our department heads, and the mayor's office, some of whom are here today, will you please stand to be acknowledged? Thank you. This team, along with hundreds of city employees, show up rain or shine. It's the reason we're able to respond to everything from winter storms and flooding to clearing trees, fixing traffic signals, rescuing neglected animals, and navigating city services. They are part of the backbone of this city, and I want to publicly say thank you. Thank you. I also want to acknowledge members of the City Council who have joined us today. I know firsthand that public service takes courage, especially when it means putting yourself out there, standing up for your beliefs, and working hard on behalf of others. I thank each of you for your commitment to this community. Please give them a round of applause. But I'm nothing without my family, so I want to acknowledge my husband and my son Miles, who are here today. Miles just completed his first freshman year at U of E. Competed this weekend in the MVC conference for track and field, so I'm pretty proud of what he's been able to accomplish this year and the growth that I've seen in him. And of course, my husband Marcus, I couldn't do this work without you. I appreciate you riding on this journey with me. Well, folks, last year I told you that Evansville had a lot going for it and even greater potential. And I believe that's still true. And I believe we are making strides toward that potential. So I can confidently say that we are a city on the move. And that movement isn't just coming from City Hall. It's coming from you, from our teachers, our nonprofits, from entrepreneurs working to keep their small businesses strong, from neighbors who paint porches and pick up trash, from parents working 2 jobs and still finding time to serve our community. That's the momentum behind our city. One of the most powerful reminders of that momentum comes from a book with no words, The Flower Man. If you've attended the Leadership Everyone with Lynn Miller Pease, you know the story. In it, an elderly man moves into a gray, neglected neighborhood. Quietly, he begins planting flowers outside his home. As the pages turn, this small act of beauty begins to spread block by block, and color returns to the community. That's what I see happening in Evansville, and it's the spirit that fuels my administration, one of action, of compassion, of forward motion. Over the last year, we have faced challenges with grit and turned commitments into real progress. Now, in year 2, our focus is sharper, our momentum stronger, and our path forward is clearer. Today, I'm going to share what we've accomplished, the challenges ahead, and where we're going next. I believe it's my job as mayor of this city to constantly push our city toward its potential, to help us reach higher for every resident who calls Evansville home. But let's be honest, we haven't always done that. There are places and people in this city who have felt overlooked. You see it in the assets we've let decline due to limited resources. Once beloved places like Mesker Amphitheater, recreational amenities like Harkey, Lloyd, and Helfrich pools, neighborhoods we haven't invested in, and roads and infrastructure that went far too long without maintenance. We've all seen the potholes, right? We hear the concerns, and we're responding. We can take care of what we have and still dream boldly. That's what a city on the move does. We're investing in leadership. Through the Harvard-Bloomberg City Leadership Initiative, we've joined a global network of cities learning from one another, sharing best practices, solving complex challenges, and bringing home ideas that work. It's professional development at the highest level, and it's helping us lead with greater clarity, strategy, and innovation. So let's talk about how far we've come, especially in our neighborhoods. This time last year, I stood before you and I made a bold promise that we would have at least 350 new affordable housing units either built or underway by today. Well, I'm proud to report we didn't just meet the goal, we exceeded it. In the past year alone, we've opened dozens of new affordable rental units, launched major rehab projects, built new single-family homes, and laid the groundwork for hundreds more. In total, more than 350 units are already complete or in progress, with another 250 in the pipeline. That's real, tangible progress. But even more importantly, it's a multi-million-dollar, $10 million plus city investment in stability in the people of Evansville. But we're not done. I've told my team I want 2,000 new units by the end of this term. Josh. I know it's ambitious, but if we're serious about tackling the housing crisis, it's the kind of goal we must set. We're also attacking the issue of blight head on. Last year, we launched our Fight Blight initiative, allocating 3 times as much to our budget to demolish 150 dangerous, decaying properties in our neighborhoods. And we didn't do it alone. We asked you, our residents, to tell us where blight was harming your blocks. You responded. To date, 132 blighted structures have been identified through your reports. Of those, 26 properties have already come down. 41 more are through the hearing process, just waiting for demolition crews, and 24 are waiting for the hearing or appeal process. That's 91 blighted properties already in the pipeline for demolition in 2025, and that's a great start. But we also knew that we needed to get a clear look at the big picture of blight across our city. So we tapped into our Bloomberg Harvard network, and we were selected to receive a Harvard Fellow this summer. So beginning next week, she'll work with our Department of Metropolitan Development to build a citywide system that maps not only blighted properties, but all land ripe for housing and economic development, starting in the center city, then scaling citywide. We're also investing in neighborhood pride in partnership through one of my favorite initiatives, the Block by Block program. Instead of just telling you what this program does, I'd rather show you what it looks like in action.
Historically, there's been neighborhoods like Jacobsville and the southeast side of Evansville that may not have had as much investment. And so we want to go into those neighborhoods and be a partner and help lift them up.
Block by Block is a community and city-led cleanup effort where we are putting together city departments and volunteers to revitalize and clean up neighborhoods block by block.
We have designated areas based on data where there's crime activity, where there are an increase in code violations, and really going into those communities.
This year we have 8 Block by Blocks planned. This spring we have 3 for March, April, May. March we're going to be in Cedar Hall Chain neighborhood, then we're going to Lamasco, and then to TP Park.
This is a way for us to be a partner in the process of lifting every neighborhood by going in and helping address some of the challenges that we see.
When they came in, I didn't really know what to expect. A lot of people said, you know, the city's going to come in and it's just going to be a pretty pose and they're just going to take pretty pictures, but nothing really is going to happen. Instead, we had like over 100 volunteers, I think. We had every form of equipment. Everybody was in action, working beside us. The fire department, the police department.
Oh, you can expect to see boots on the ground. You're going to be seeing city-marked vehicles, so you'll see the police department, you'll see the fire department, you'll see a lot of big machinery. So whether that's a backhoe or whether that's ride-on lawnmowers, you're going to see people who are working hard to make a difference.
People need to know that you care. That's why it's important for not only my office and other city departments to be on the ground.
Through Block by Block, we are trying to show residents that Evansville is a city that works for them.
It was amazing to watch everybody's care in one level. It wasn't a pretty pose, it wasn't a pretty picture. It was actual sustainable work happening in the neighborhood.
We want to give people a sense of hope and that they see that their government is working for them and that they're valued in the long run. That hopefully will empower and inspire them to continue to do the upkeep that's needed even when those weeks when we're not present in their neighborhood.
Without a doubt, 812 Day was the start of our heavy trash pickup. When 812 Day came for those 2 blocks, people saw the difference and they jumped in. And ever since then, we've picked up about 107 tons of trash from Jacobsville. That set the tone.
You feel better when your yard looks good and your street is cleaned and clear of debris and trash. That's more than anything. I think it's a win, because when you take pride in your neighborhood and your community, overall we're stronger and better as a city.
This is just one small part of the story. All across Evansville, we have nonprofits and other community partners working to build houses, to repair properties, and to revitalize our neighborhoods in so many other ways. We want to continue working alongside these groups and to support them, which is what we did earlier this year when we announced Forward Together grants, awarding $500,000 to 18 nonprofits working to revitalize neighborhoods and creating pathways out of poverty. There's also movement in our parks, because we know that one of the clearest signs of a strong, vibrant neighborhood is access to safe, beautiful public spaces. But let's be real. We've let some of our city's 46 parks fall into disrepair over the years. But this administration is making it a priority to improve our quality of place by investing in what we already have. That effort began with $24 million Parks Bond, which we passed along City Council and the Parks Board. It focused almost entirely on restoring and maintaining the parks and recreational facilities our families rely on. Some of these needs may not be glamorous, but they're essential, like fixing the HVAC system at Swander Ice Arena, or the irrigation systems at the city golf courses. The things you don't notice until, guess what? They stop working. Those projects are no longer on a wish list. They're moving forward. Plans have been submitted and reviewed by the Parks Board. Action is underway. Other upgrades that are very visible and exciting. TP Park will welcome a brand new splash pad this summer. Fulton Park is getting a new playground, and I believe they started yesterday, right? Stevenson Park will see fresh playground equipment. The CK Newsom is going to receive some updates as well. But really exciting is at Garvin Park. We're launching an entirely new activity zone, starting with a playground and safety surface this summer, followed by a new shelter, restrooms, and a basketball court. These are priorities that community members, thank you. These are priorities that community members have consistently raised, needs reflected in neighborhood plans, community meetings, and years of conversation. And now we're delivering. Our Parks Director, Danielle Crook, said it's her personal goal to touch every park in some way, and I believe she's going to do it. So we're not checking boxes. We're changing how it feels to live in this city. Now, speaking of transformational ideas, have you all seen the River Vision? I sure hope so. Last year, our friends at EREP and the design firm from Sasaki unveiled a bold plan to reimagine 50 miles of the Ohio riverfront, stretching from Newburgh to Mount Vernon. And right here in the heart of that plan is downtown Evansville. It's a long-term vision, 20 to 30 years in scope, but one that includes opportunities for new housing, retail, restaurants, and green and recreational spaces, all centered around the water that gave this city life in the first place. We're in the schematic design phase right now, but when it's complete, this transformation will really transform our riverfront and our city into a true destination. So you can see, we're developing our neighborhoods. We're strengthening our quality of place. And while we're doing it all, we're keeping a focus on public safety. Because when people visit our parks, when they stroll our riverfront, when they move into one of our neighborhoods, we want them to feel safe. When I took office, one of the first challenges we faced was the growing strain on our public safety workforce. Our police and fire departments simply couldn't compete when it came to salary, benefits, and compensation. We were losing officers, and we weren't bringing in enough new ones. Just take the Evansville Police Department, for example. We budget about $289 for officers, but most days we're sitting closer to $260. So we took action. Last year, we negotiated new 3-year contracts with both the Fraternal Order of Police and Firefighters Local 357. And I'm proud to say those agreements provided record increases in compensation. But the good news, it's already working. As of May 1st, the Evansville Police Department has already received 125 applications, well on pace to surpass last year's total of 174. And the Evansville Fire Department just wrapped up this recruiting period with 391 applicants, nearly double last year's 200. All of that is moving in the right direction. At the same time, the public safety professionals who are already serving our city are also stepping up. This year, EFD is building a new fire station on the east side of town. This will be Evansville's first new fire station in over 25 years, and the first in a brand new location since 1988. Think about it. Just think about it. Our city has grown, especially on the east side and the north. This new fire station is a direct response to that growth. When it opens, it will improve response times up to 1.5 minutes, and it will free up resources to improve response times on the west side too. In emergency situations, we all know just how critical 90 seconds can be. These investments will save lives. The fire department is also working with the American Red Cross on the Fire Safe Community Program, and they're collaborating with EPD to address fire-related crimes. This is making our community safer. At the same time, we know that crime is still a reality in this city. Every day, someone in Evansville is impacted by theft, violence, addiction, or fear. The truth is, crime activity has remained relatively consistent year over year. But even one incident is one too many, and we still have work to do. That's why we're wrapping up our efforts. In 2024, the Evansville Police Department solved every single homicide. All 12 cases were closed with arrest within 48 hours. That kind of turnaround doesn't just happen. It takes urgency, professionalism, and a deep commitment to justice. And I want to commend our officers for that work. We also see 7 pounds of fentanyl last year, compared to just 1.6 pounds in 2023. Now, I know the numbers sound alarming, but it doesn't necessarily mean drug use is on the rise. It means we're doing a better job identifying and removing dangerous substances before they reach our streets. Yep. And this is due to improved technology and more focused enforcement. But enforcement alone won't get us where we need to go. We're continuing to strengthen community policing because trust is the foundation of public safety. And we're digging deeper into the root causes of crime, poverty, trauma, disconnection, and lack of opportunity. Our community violence intervention program is one example. By working directly with individuals at the highest risk of involvement in violence, this program is helping to break cycles before they escalate. It's still early, but we're already seeing some promising results. Because real public safety isn't about reacting to what's already happening. It's about creating a kind of city where violence is less likely to happen in the first place. And even with these signs of progress, we can't forget the human cost. Because even one life lost, especially a young life, is one too many. In this room, we all play a role in shaping the future of our young people, including our young people themselves. That's why I created the Youth Advisory Council, to advise my office on issues facing them in our city. With their first year coming to a close, I asked them to share a bit about their experience.
I remember last summer, a bunch of my family members had told me about this opportunity once it was announced.
First, my mom introduced the idea to me, and I thought it was really interesting that I could maybe have an impact in the city.
And I just really wanted to get connected with other kids from other schools.
I was especially hoping to provide voices for the youth in the community.
I think the most important thing is having a voice for our youth.
With the growing generation comes new problems, new technology, and I do agree that our parents are very smart, but I also agree that there are some new problems that did not exist in the past generation.
One of the main concerns that I had coming in was about human trafficking, and I wanted to bring more awareness about that.
I myself was really interested in diversity and equity.
I think one of the biggest things is mental health problems.
In the more recent years, at least I personally have noticed a decline in the mental health of teenagers, an increase in anxiety and depression.
We had this one project where we were split into 2 groups.
And we were both tasked to each think of a topic that we think is the biggest thing, or at least one of the biggest things facing the youth right now. We were supposed to make a presentation or somehow just something informative to present at Traveling City Hall.
Digital literacy was one of the topics that we focused on.
We presented about mental health.
At that event, we got to actually talk to a lot of people. We had to set up our little own stand, we had a little candy jar and a little wheel that I got to set up, and it was just a great experience. My second favorite experience, I would say, is the Youth Symposium, which focused more on all the schools.
We got to attend the first Youth Symposium, which helped us gather data on the opinions of youth, what they think need to be improved.
I'm very glad I did this.
Overall, I've grown a lot as a person through this.
I have learned a lot about the politics of a city.
I think I really got to see a lot of the city officials, and I really see how connected all the town is.
I think that this opportunity has allowed me to improve networking within Evansville.
I made genuine connections and friendships that I wouldn't have made otherwise.
I think that this was a great opportunity. I think that
all kids should apply. I got so many new opportunities. I got to see the city from a whole different light, and I got to meet some pretty amazing people.
Wasn't that powerful? When we give young people a seat at the table, they rise to the occasion, and they remind us of what's possible when we invest in them. But Evansville, we've got to do better. Too many of our kids are struggling, falling behind in reading and math, grappling with mental health challenges, and unsure of what's next. When our children struggle, our entire city feels it. And that's why this work is extremely personal to me. At our Youth Success Symposium, I met Serenity, who won our Mayor for the Day contest. She stood up here this morning and led us in the Pledge of Allegiance. She's bright, full of possibility, and for the first time, she sees her future reflected in this seat because representation matters. That moment there reminded me exactly why I brought back the Mayor's Education Roundtable and why I asked them to create something Evansville has never had before, a citywide youth master plan. And this plan will be our city's promise to our young people, a roadmap for how we will create conditions every child needs to thrive, from early learning to graduation to whatever path they choose next. And the work is already happening. Look at the Driving Possibilities Initiative, a $13 million investment from Toyota USA Foundation in cradle to career STEAM education and workforce training, fueling a partnership between EVSC Foundation, North Gibson Educational Foundation, the University of Evansville, Youth First, and Building Blocks. We're also expanding the Academy for Science and Medicine, and it's a strong example of how we're giving students interested in these fields more hands-on learning opportunities. These are the kinds of investments that are going to impact this city in a transformational way. The public, private, and nonprofit partners coming together around a shared goal. The Youth Master Plan is about exactly that kind of alignment. It's about giving every student a strong start, quality childcare and preschool, reading by 3rd grade. It's about wraparound supports that keep them on track, safe spaces to learn and grow in and out of the school, and the tools to step into adulthood, ready for success, whether that's college, a trade, the military, or the workforce. This summer, we're teaming up with EVSC. Their new superintendent, Dr. Hoover, I know, was just announced on yesterday, but we're teaming up with EVSC, the Public Library, WNIN, and Read Evansville to kick off a citywide reading initiative. We'll start this summer with a soft launch, lifting up EVPL's summer reading program and sharing fun and engaging educational lessons on WNIN throughout June. Then this fall, we'll expand the initiative. But together, what we're trying to accomplish, we're trying to meet and exceed Indiana's goal that 95% of students read at grade level by 2027. This number matters, folks, but let me be clear, this is more than just about test scores. It's about unlocking potential. It's about making sure every child has the chance to succeed in this city, and it's all of our responsibility. This is just the beginning. But even as we make progress, we must acknowledge the challenges ahead. Being in a city on the move doesn't mean everything goes our way. It means we keep moving anyway. And earlier this month, we received difficult news. A $20 million federal community change grant awarded to us from EPA was terminated. That grant was going to help us expand NET's microservice. It was going to help us build more than 3 miles of ADA-compliant sidewalks, create new transportation hubs, and install EV charging stations throughout the city. These investments would have made it easier for people to get where they need to go safely, affordably, and sustainably. Losing that funding is a setback, but it's not the end of the road. We have to keep pushing, and that's exactly what we'll do. Right now, Evansville's finances are stable and healthy. At the end of 2024, we had nearly $50 million set aside, enough to keep the city running for more than 4 months if needed. The city is also current on its health insurance payments to its providers and holds sufficient cash and has avoided being in the red. And even with some long-term obligations, we've maintained strong credit ratings from both major agencies, showing that outside experts see us as a well-managed city. We also see a lot of positive economic indicators out in the community. In the past year, we have created 500 net new jobs in our city. We've seen wages grow 3.4%, outpacing inflation. Unemployment is under 4%, meaning there are multiple unfilled jobs for every job seeker in our city. And our industries are expanding here. Separation by Design just announced a $5 million investment and 30 new high-wage jobs on Evansville's west side. American Bath Group just invested $20 million in a new press line at Boots Manufacturing. Did you know that we make porcelain bathtubs right here in the city of Evansville? Okay. But I'll tell you what, a strong bond rating and a positive economic outlook doesn't mean we can afford everything. And it doesn't mean every family in Evansville is feeling that success yet. We still face very real human challenges, ones that don't always show up on a spreadsheet. We see the strain of high utility costs, the growing need for food access, and an uptick in homelessness and animal welfare concerns. So we're responding. We launched a 5-year strategic plan to prevent and address homelessness in a humane way, focused on sustainable solutions and long-term support. An example of that is our street outreach team that assisted with cleaning up encampments and offering resources to those most in need. We've created an energy solutions working group to explore ways to ease the burden of high utility cost. We hosted Evansville's first ever animal care and control town hall, making space for public dialogue and shared solutions. And just last week, we announced some of the initial changes coming. And we're actively looking at how the city can provide financial support to the Food Commission partners, because no one in our city should go hungry. These issues matter. And as a city on the move, we're not ignoring them. We're leaning in with the same urgency, innovation, and compassion we bring to every challenge we face. Lately, it feels like I can't go anywhere. The nail shop, the grocery store, you name it. And even on social media, without someone telling me, what? Fix those roads. So let me start by saying we hear you, and there's some good progress happening. This year, we will finish work on the Walnut Street corridor, reopening that as a complete street from Van Avenue all the way into the heart of downtown. We will also start on the 3rd Street reconstruction project this year. Overall, we will invest $7.8 million in road projects across this city this year, nearly doubling what we have done in past years. But we also know that this increase isn't enough to make up for decades of underfunding road repairs. At this point, simply maintaining our city roads in their current level would cost about $12 million every year. Improving them would cost even more. Thanks to House Bill 1461, we now qualify for up to $4.5 million a year through the Community Crossings program. This is going to be a major boost for us. But even with that, we still face a sizable gap. That's why we're exploring every option, including a potential wheel tax to close the gap. Because let's be honest, our roads need serious condition. We also can't help cities across the state. They're facing growing budget pressures from changes at the state level. This year, the Indiana General Assembly passed Senate Bill 1 to provide property tax relief to Hoosiers, something that we as property owners, we welcome. But those property taxes also provide revenue to libraries, to schools, and to cities and towns across the state. In Evansville, Senate Bill 1 means a reduction in revenue to our general fund. Projections are showing a loss of $15.8 million over 3 years. And more than 70% of our general fund pays for public safety. That's our police officers, that's our firefighters, the dispatchers who answer 911 calls when you need them most. This is a challenge because let me be clear, protecting public safety is not optional. The state has offered, thank you, local income tax as a tool to help cities adjust. But before we even consider passing those costs to you, we are doing the hard work of exploring every other option. Because being responsible stewards of taxpayer dollars isn't just good policy, it's our duty. These aren't easy conversations, but they're necessary. And in Evansville, we're not just identifying problems, we're finding smart, sustainable solutions and ways to solve them. One of the most promising examples is our upcoming shift in ambulance services. Starting next summer, Chief Knight and the Evansville Fire Department will take over ambulance operations citywide. And through a thorough financial analysis verified by independent third party, we found that transitioning ambulance services to the fire department won't just improve efficiency, it will generate new revenue. By 2028, once startup costs are paid, this model will bring in about $3.5 million a year in profit. That money will go directly to the fire department and free up the same amount in our general fund for investments in roads and parks and housing and other services you rely on. In fact, this single change could help offset some of the revenue shortfall created by Senate Bill 1. It's not a silver bullet, but it's a bold, strategic move. Now, anytime we talk about new revenues, we also need to talk about how we're saving residents money elsewhere. Let's talk water, for example. When I came into office, I inherited a ticking clock, the overdue replacement of a 125-year-old water treatment plant. I've been inside. I've seen the pipe stamped 1888. And while that may speak to our city's history, it cannot be the future of Evansville's water supply. Under the leadership of Vic Kelson, and in collaboration with our Water and Sewer Board and the EWSU team, we've explored a shift away from the original plan, which was to build a brand new treatment plant. But today, I'm excited to announce that in the coming weeks, we will begin discussions with our regulators seeking approval of more innovative, cost-effective solution blending groundwater with our current Ohio River supply. This strategy, this is big, is expected to save up $100 million up front. And at least another $2 million annually in PFAS treatment thanks to clean groundwater sources we've identified. We hope this approach means we can avoid further water rate increases beyond those already scheduled, and that the ones coming this year and next are the last for a long time. But this isn't just about saving money. It's about strengthening Evansville's water security. By creating a dual source system, we make our supply more resilient for decades to come. And this isn't the only infrastructure challenge we're navigating. Like many legacy cities, Evansville has a combined sewer system in older areas of our community. Stormwater and wastewater are flowing through the same pipes. What once seemed efficient now presents serious environmental and compliance risk. We've been operating under a federal consent decree with EPA to reduce overflows into the Ohio River and surrounding waterways. Today, we are reaching out to the regulatory agencies to propose solutions that will protect Pigeon Creek and the Ohio River while also being affordable for our customers. These are complex, long-term discussions, but we're fighting for solutions that protect our residents and our resources. So yes, we're investing in our future, but we're doing it wisely. We're securing Evansville's water future in a way that prioritizes both sustainability and affordability for generations to come. There's a lot of work that's gone on, and these are just a few of the bold moves already underway. And they're only the beginning. I'm proud of the progress that we've made, but I'm even more excited about where we're going because I have a vision for Evansville's future. And we are putting the pieces in place to get us there. A future where every neighborhood feels cared for and connected and full of possibility. A future where housing is abundant and affordable, and where investment flows into our community, not out of it. A future where city government works better, faster, and more openly for the people it serves. Here's what you can expect to see in 2025 and beyond. Stronger neighborhoods. 6 more block-by-block cleanups are already scheduled this year, bringing care and connection right to our doorsteps. Visible progress on blight. We're on track to demolish or prepare 150 unsafe vacant structures, clearing the way for new growth. More places to call home. Hundreds of new housing units are under construction or breaking ground, moving us closer to our goal of 2,000 by 2027. There's opportunity on the horizon too. While I can't share the details just yet, as much as I wanted to, we're anticipating some exciting business announcements that will boost outdoor recreation, regional connectivity, and economic growth. With ready funding already in hand, we're preparing Evansville to lead in logistics and supply chain development, positioning ourselves for the transformational I-69 Ohio River crossing. We're also going to see more connectivity in the skies. This summer, Evansville families will be taking affordable direct flights to Florida with Allegiant and Breeze Airlines. Business travel is bouncing back. American Airlines brought back direct service to Chicago. Delta has added a 4th daily flight to Atlanta. And a little scoop here, conversations are underway about restoring direct flights to Detroit, which would open up even more national and international connections. At the city, we are also developing smarter tools for growth by launching a new developer toolkit and streamlined process guide, making it easier to build and invest in Evansville. And inside City Hall, we're restructuring departments to improve service delivery and ensure every resident gets the support that they need quickly and effectively. Every one of these steps is part of a bigger plan to make Evansville not just a city on the move, but a place where everyone can thrive. We're moving with purpose, with pride, and with faith. Faith in our people, our neighborhoods, and our shared future. We're stepping up. And I've said this before, and you'll hear me say it 1,000 times more. I can't do this work alone. None of us can. It takes all of us working together to keep this city moving. So I'm asking you to stay engaged, to speak up, to lend your hands, your voice, and your heart. We have a bold vision for Evansville. And if we stay focused and united, we'll turn that vision into lasting progress. Now, you know that I'm from a Baptist church, right? And we sometimes do a call and response. And I want to bring that spirit into this moment. So if you're with me, and if you believe in where this city is headed, I want to hear you say yes. Are we moving? Yes. Are we moving? Yes. Are we building? Yes. Are we building? Yes. Are we ready for what's next? Yes. Evansville is a city on the move, and we're just getting started. God bless you all, and God bless this city.